Hi,
Tammy.
Dave. Hi, Dave.
All right, here we are. And Charlie's getting used to his horn in the other room.
He sounds great.
He does.
It's amazing. It's unbelievable.
He's getting used to it.
Yeah.
So what we've got here is Tammy with her file of notes for the icons and symbols on this horn. So Tammy, have at it. Let's go through this briefly and just show people, give them a little bit of an idea of what you did here to decorate the horn.
Sounds good. Well, this is what we started with. This is the front of the Buckingham Apartments, where you and Charlie each lived 15 years apart before you knew each other. But so we chose to put this on the valve casing, and I chose the detail on the outside of the door to expand on and sort of take some liberties with, and made some drawings. And then these drawings were converted into the CNC mill and ended up as engraving on Charlie's horn, on the valve casing. So there was a whole manila envelope full of sketches for just this part of the horn, and I left them at home. I didn't want to bore you with all that stuff, but this is enough to show you what the layout was all about. And then Dean miraculously was able to translate that onto the valve cluster. This is pretty interesting. This is the first interview you did with Charlie to kind of get an overview of what symbols he might want on his horn in May 2005. And this is a good example of what happens in this process. We do a series of interviews and get an idea about where we might want to place icons. So this is my notes based on a conversation that you and I had after that, and kind of came up with where things might go. Here's the front tuning slide brace, the back vertical brace, mouthpiece, horizontal mouthpiece brace. Here's the horizontal bell brace in the front, and that's how that's done. And then there are eventually there are other further conversations that we have to take notes on. These are just random sort of sketches that I like. For instance, with the symbol of Charlie as the ram, with the that I ended up using with the spatula, I went through a series of maybe different kind of hats that I might use for that, and eventually ended up with this. This is the kind of thing that you and I send back and forth to each other just to get things going. There's the shape of the fin, the tuning side brace that Dean came up with and sent me, and then I started arranging the symbols for that brace together on it. This is a good example of what the process is for coming up with. I drew the bus, and on drawing the bus, I can't cut every single little line in the bus. So I diminish it in size and come up, I think that was probably the final size that I ended up using. And then it has to be simplified so that I have the essence of a bus without drawing every single line of the bus. There's the first sketch of Charlie's transition from accordion to cornet, I guess he said. And then here's a series of radios that I started with to come up with this final design, all from what I imagine to be the era of the time when Charlie wanted to remember, having to do with that. These are all referring to these are all icons that ended up on the front, the tuning slide brace. This is one we rejected. There's another one of those. There's Maria. Here's another another conversation. Some more notes along the way. Here's some just beginning sketches of the jail yard symbol.
For Juilliard.
For Juilliard, yes. Oh, here's another conversation. Because things have to be refined. Here's Maria's symbol.
All right, so we started with that and then simplified.
Yeah, that started out as a photograph with a face and the whole thing, but she is her hair is so distinctive that you kind of wanted that to be the real defining feature on the brace. So I took this just line drawing that you sent me, and I made that, refined it into how it ended up on the brace. This I thought was interesting because it shows, like, here's the first violin I drew, and I drew a sketchbook, a paintbrush, and tried to figure out how they could work together, how that thing was going to lay across the violin. And then I started diminishing it and minimizing it using the printer, and eventually ended up with the thing that's on there now. This is the twittering machine image, and
That's for Charlie's mother.
that's for Charlie's mom. Oh, and here it is. This is what happens next. Is I sketch it onto the piece that's going to end up being the template, a piece of what do we call this? Tracing paper, and then I cut with an X-Acto knife just some lines so I can have some reference, and pretty much, I can draw through those little cut lines onto the brace, and then take it away and then freehand the rest of it. That's pretty much how they're all done. And here's Erica, for instance. I finally came up with her little icon, and then cut it out with the X-Acto blade, and just some referential lines so that I can register it on the brace, and then come back and fill it in later. And it's good to take pictures of how the layout's going to work so I can refer to it later. So this is the back vertical brace with the little images, just my little cutout images stuck to the brace. It's pretty low tech. And there's my final copy of that brace before I send it to you guys to get soldered into the horn. And these are the trumpet lilies on the outer bell. Started out just as some sketches, and then, well, actually, they started out as sketches on paper, and then I trace them onto tracing paper, and then cut them out, and cut them out with the blade. That's what all this is. That's the outer bell right there. So there just doesn't seem to be any other way to logically etch through that outer bell unless I were to do it this way. This seems like the most straightforward, obvious way, given our
Tami.
technology. Sure.
All right, that's the 10-minute tour of
Good.
Tami Dean's folder on icons and designs for this horn.
Yep.
Great job, Tami. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dave. Thank you.